Welcome back. The old Egyptian civilization is going to remain as a source of magic. People around the world are going to remain fascinated by this old civilization and with its wonders, with its miracles, and particularly the Giza Plateau, the pyramids. There are all the time many questions about how they were built, why they were built, where are they only tombs for the kings who were buried there, and if so, why the Egyptians made all such efforts. And what about the rumors saying that there is another civilization and we are going only to discover them if we discover what's beneath the three pyramids? These are questions we are going to ask to our dear guest live here in the studio, Mr. Ihab Kamel, our historian and researcher. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
Is there any possibility that these rumors and these even media reports speaking about another civilization or another city built under the pyramids, or at least one of them, to be true?
Well, honestly, Namin, you had said it yourself, rumors. When we deal with archaeology, we deal with facts. The fact says that all these are just rumors, stories, and mostly social media stories that does not come from a reliable media source or a reliable scientific source. And I see that behind it that there are hidden agendas. God knows what kind of agendas people are trying to draw the attention of the public audience, trying to gain some publicity or fame, or maybe money from behind it. I don't really know, but from what I see, that it's totally preposterous, and it has nothing to do with what we had studied and what had been published for more than 150 years ago. They're even bringing down what Champollion has done. This is basically unbelievable, and whoever believes in that, I think they are people who are kind of interested in science fiction movies.
Okay,
nothing
great.
more than that.
Maybe I should have started our interview with this question rather than the one I asked. Why in the first place millions of people around the world are really interested in the pyramids and in the secrets of the pyramids, and there are a lot of people who do not understand why the Egyptians made these efforts just to be tombs for for three kings? Or this is something which we should accept as is?
Well, there's not a simple answer for this question, because everyone has got his own mindset and his own interests in looking at different subjects. But basically speaking, we're talking about, nowadays we are in a very materialistic world. Lots of people, they cannot comprehend that thousands of years ago the human beings with a strong will and scientific way of thinking can establish something like this. Some people are very superficial in their thinking, and they think it's impossible, and that's because of many reasons, because of the atmosphere they had grown up into, which was based mainly on certain values that directs their mindset towards a certain direction. So I can't say that there's a simple answer for this. Each one has got his own reasons why they think so. But if we look at the pyramids itself, we'll find that it's the only remaining wonder of the seven ancient wonders of the ancient world. Basically speaking, you're talking about a magnificent human achievement, and if you're talking 4,500 years ago such an achievement existed, it's hard to believe or comprehend.
Sure.
But they all ignore something very important,
Which
is the Egyptian people themselves, their beliefs, and also the development of their own mindset, the development of their own civilization according to certain elements that had helped them to develop such a civilization. For example, if you look at Egypt, and we cannot really speak about history ignoring geography. Geography forms history. Egypt was an isolated place, a well-protected place with a source of water, Nile Valley. So the Egyptians had discovered agriculture at an extremely early age.
Yeah.
So they satisfied their basic needs earlier than most of the nations of the world. It's natural that when you satisfy your basic needs, you start to relax and calm down and think and contemplate around you. And you start relating these phenomena that you see together in certain formulas, and that's how you discover science. That's step number one. If you stand on step number one, automatically step number two will come. You will start by discovering science, developing different branches of knowledge like astronomy, like math, like construction, etc. And that's how it went. And it took thousands of years.
Amen to that. But then, as a researcher, sir, do you think that the pyramids were built especially for that reason, just a tomb for the three kings? Or there are other reasons?
You have to understand the entity of the king.
I can understand the entity of a king with Abu Simbel, with Ramses II, with Hatshepsut. Having temples for them, I can understand that. But the pyramid and how many years it took to build one pyramid, the calculations, the math, the science, you name it. This is something which I really need an explanation for.
Look, the ancient Egyptian was a very religious person. He believed, because his civilization was based on agriculture, that his own destiny was in the hands of the forces of nature. These forces of nature are controlled by a great deity, by a god. For them, especially during the Old Kingdom, I'm talking up till the 4th dynasty, especially, that the pharaoh was the great god living in a human body. He's the god. If he's happy, the country prospers. If he's angry, they will see very difficult years. So, the ancient Egyptian had used the language of architecture to express his religious beliefs. For example, why the pyramid? Why the shape of the pyramid? Refer to their own religious beliefs and their mythology that says before the world was created there was nothing but an endless ocean that was called the Noon, and from there a pyramidal shaped mound, the Binbin, came out, where the great God who created himself by himself existed. And from there he started creating the world. So the pyramid, it's representing the Binbin, the house of God. That is why, which had changed later on with the change in the identity of the pharaoh. The pharaohs had started, or the kings had started taking a step down. As a matter of fact, that's why when you go inside the royal tomb of the pyramid, you will not find one single hieroglyphic script on the burial chamber. These hieroglyphic scripts, they come either from the pyramid texts or the Book of the Dead, like later in the Valley of the Kings. What are these? These are actually magical formulas that help the king in his underworld trip to join with the great god. In the case of King Khufu or King Khephren or King Macrinus, the 4th dynasty pharaohs, that's not the case, because the king, he is God himself. He does not need these magical spells. So basically they are building the house of the gods. And you will always find that the entrance is facing the northern star. This is typical because that's where the god came actually from, and that's where
he... So can I say that the 3 pyramids are the culmination of their religious behavior, or their way to say that how do they evaluate the value of their king? Because we had before the 3 pyramids Djoser, and we had other pyramids scattered all over Egypt. But those 3 pyramids in specific, they do have a specific position in our civilization in general. Can we see that they started from where others ended?
We have to differentiate between 2 things. The architectural development, the development in the field of architecture itself. The belief was there, but they did not have the tools to build it the way they imagine it would be. That's why in Djoser it started as a mastaba, then a 2-step mastaba. That's why many archaeologists actually, they call the pyramid of Djoser the step mastaba. Until they had developed their architectural knowledge in order to be able to build the perfect pyramid that they had imagined in their mythology or in their beliefs. And the biggest evidence that they had tried and they had errors, look at the pyramids of Dahshur, the pyramid of Maydum. It took them quite some time.
Because of this I said that they started from where others ended. But sir, we do have many corridors, columns, and rooms discovered inside the pyramid, and I think we are going to continue to discover many other things in the 3 pyramids, I mean, for years or centuries to come.
First of all, not that many corridors as we think, as we all think. No, we're talking about mainly 2 major chambers. One is mistakenly known by the Queen's Chamber, and some narrow corridors, which we believe that these were escape shafts for the workmen who were working inside the pyramid. And Dr. Zahi Hawass had shown us in the name of King Cheops and the names of the different groups that were working inside, the friends of King Khufu, inside the pyramid. These were escape shafts. We should not... Yes, it's a magnificent and unbelievable piece of architectural achievement, how it's precisely built, the way it's oriented towards the 4 cardinal points, the magnitude itself. Yes, but this, it shows that the ancient Egyptian had valued his knowledge, his accumulative knowledge, to the extent that he had applied it completely on his own monuments, as we see in the Giza Plateau. At a time, the other nations were living in caves.
Yeah? Give me a ratio. I mean, how many secrets have we discovered until the moment regarding the pyramids, the 3 pyramids? 20%, 50%, 90%?
Well, by all means, there are still lots of unanswered questions. But we had discovered a lot. And I can't say how many secrets have we discovered, because every day...
Percentage. I need a percentage in your opinion.
It's very hard, but I believe that there are still lots to be discovered. Lots about...
lots to be discovered about how they were built, or why, or messages sent by building the pyramid this way.
About the techniques of construction, I believe, more or less. But about why they were built, no, it's very clear. It's very clear, and the ancient Egyptian theology had been studied for hundreds of years, and every time we keep digging profoundly in it, we discovered that it's a very sublime and a very spiritual kind of religion that changes.
Until the moment, many tourists and even Egyptians are going to the pyramids.
Oh
area
yes,
just
this
to
is the
meditate.
key.
This is it?
This is the key to understand the ancient Egyptian civilization. The religion, the greatest discovery of the ancient Egyptian is the discovery of the human conscience.
Yeah. Well, I cannot find a better sentence to end this interview with. Again?
The biggest discovery of the ancient Egyptian is the discovery of the human conscience, his human conscience.
The human conscience is the biggest discovery made or discovered by the Egyptians thousands of years ago. And it seems that this is our destiny, to remind the international community and the whole world that there is something they should discover themselves, which is conscious humanity, consciousness. Well, I enjoyed our discussion as usual. Thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. We had the pleasure to have with us live here in the studio our historian and researcher, Mr. Ihab Kamel. Well, tomorrow is another episode and another crew. Stay tuned only on Nile TV International. Always from all. Many thanks for watching. This was Nermina Abdurrahman.